Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Shonen and Chill, hosted by Zenrotto and Oceans.
Hello, hello. Right off the bat, this is my last time here. We announced it last episode, and the time has come. And of course, the week we're discussing at my on my final episode is one where my hero is on break. Like,
Intentional by Hori,
yes, yes.
by design.
Hori decided to orbital nuke me in the final week. Um, so, do you know of any news, Zen?
Not really. Um, I saw something yesterday that was like Dr. Stone and JJK season 2. We're gonna have some stuff in the next magazine, like some advertisement stuff.
Hmm.
But nothing exciting. Just
Okay.
more fluff for what we already know is coming.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't actually know anything either this time around. It's been kind of quiet. Uh, or maybe it's just that my timeline is very quiet after I blocked like half of my hero Twitter.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Yeah, like every once in a while I'll get like one of those vague tweets where it's like, ugh, people in the fandom just don't know how to behave. And I'm like, wow, I have no context and I like it that way.
For once, I finally have no context.
I have unplugged myself from the matrix. My red pill course coming for $100 a month. Ocean Academy, sign up now.
Ocean Academy, how to unplug yourself from the Horikoshi Matrix.
Step one: conveniently have no chapters released for like weeks.
When they do release, make sure that they are not more than 11 pages.
Yes. Oh God. Yeah, we'll get to that. Um, but so, what are your top three over the last like 2 weeks?
That was honestly kind of hard because I haven't been super amazed with a lot of stuff.
Hmm.
Probably the most recent Chainsaw Man. Actually, probably JJK number 3 because it was
Damn.
pure rawness and that was it.
Hmm.
Chainsaw Man number 2, the most recent one, and then my number 1 is Sakamoto Days.
Damn. Okay. 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 My number three is what the fuck is it? Blue Box.
Okay,
My
that's a good
number
one.
two
That
is
was up there.
yeah, yeah. My number two is JJK, and my number one is Chainsaw Man.
Okay, it's a pretty
Very
similar. It's pretty close.
yeah, yeah. We're not breaking any boundaries here.
Pretty average.
Yeah.
All right. So then the first one we've got here is Spy Family.
Which hey, the plot seems to be moving.
Yeah, there's a plot now. That's neat.
Yeah,
We're
that's
gonna do
crazy.
things for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean Winston Wheeler is the most like quick make up an English name I've ever
Yes.
heard.
I kind of like that though. They're just like, fuck, just give me something quick.
I mean, that's kind of the whole thing with Spy Family with like its naming and like place. It's like, oh yeah, this is like split Berlin, but we're not gonna like try and make it too much more accurate than that. It's like, oh yes, Estonia and Westalis.
Hmm.
Hmm. I wonder what that might be a stand-in for. But yeah, this Winston guy seems pretty cracked. Um, he seems like a really, really intimidating spy. So I hope
Yeah, we're
Lloyd
actually gonna
can.
get like a real spy fight here, and then Yuri's there, everybody's favorite character.
Oh, bro, I need him to get touched in the street.
Not gonna happen, unfortunately. The author really likes that joke too much, so
Yeah, I know, but still.
we're stuck with it forever.
Ugh. Yeah, well. Watch the series end with like Lloyd dying, but not Yuri.
Oh God, Yuri's the only survivor.
Everyone's dead but
Everyone's
him.
dead except for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Um.
tough to talk about it because it's kind of like setting up the next thing, so we don't really know where it's gonna go. But it's nice to see that there's like a spy that's kind of on Twilight's level because that never really happens. He mostly just
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
easily bodies everything that happens.
Yeah, exactly. So seeing someone who's like an actual threat to the main story, because I feel like a lot of the time when they're like, "Oh no, Operation Strix is in danger," it's actually just like, "Haha, here's a quick little plot to carry you over until the next big thing."
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this feels like the actual next big thing.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, no, that's really cool. Um, I like how at the end where they meet, it's like, these two like spy secret agents. And you look at Wheeler and the other guy, and it's just like I've never seen two people look more like spies.
Right? Like we have to keep ourselves secret, but
Yeah,
also,
but also I have a giant scar across my face and exclusively wear like dusters.
yeah, they all wear the same like trench coat bowler hat combo.
Yeah. Hey, maybe that's just fashionable at the time
Yeah, maybe.
in
I
fake
hope not, but maybe.
1950, in the fake 1950s. But yeah, it was all right out of 10. It didn't have any Anya in it, which is
Yeah, unfortunate out of 10.
yeah, unfortunate out of 10.
All right, so the next up is the Ichinose family's deadly sins.
Bro, what the fuck is happening?
I have no idea. So is he just in another layer? Who is this guy?
Yeah, because I think you said it last time that, oh, you're worried that we're gonna keep getting like dream layers. I think this was it. I think you called it.
Yeah, that like now, because now he's waking back up out of the coma again. Like it's a different loop.
Yeah. Oh God, that's gonna be awful because then you never know quite which one's real.
Uh-huh.
But I do like the way they reveal it is super cool as well. Where it's just like, wait, how do you know that? Like, oh shit. Because when she first asked that, I thought, oh, maybe that guy, like the creepy dream guy, maybe he's like supernatural, and there's something else going on there. But no, it's just straight up, no, sorry, you're still dreaming.
Hmm. Yeah, my first thought too was like, oh, so he was like interacting with the real world somehow in the
Hmm.
dream, but nope, he's just. I also like the way the background kind of fades out, like as he's putting it together, and he's like, oh wait, and then he wakes back up from the coma. Ugh. I have no idea what's happening ever though in this.
Yeah, it's really weird, and it's kind of crazy because for the last couple of months, it has felt like we were getting answers, but really we were getting nothing.
Yeah,
Like
and
we were,
absolutely nothing at all.
yeah, like sure, I know this is now a story about loops and like dreams, which I guess I didn't know 4 months ago, but I don't feel any smarter.
Yeah, no, if anything, once again, I have more questions than I did before.
Yeah, which I guess is the hallmark of a good mystery, where it's just like it keeps you guessing. Um, and again, I mean, we've said this a lot, but I do really want to hammer home how much mileage it gets out of its aesthetic. That's just like unsettlingly juxtaposed between cutesiness and horrible vibes.
Yeah, just like it's not even like particularly grotesque imagery. It's just like yucky.
Yeah, it's again like I think we said this. Like when people blush, it looks like they're dirty. When people cry, it looks like they have milk curdling in their eyes. Like it just yeah, it just looks yucky.
Yeah,
Um
it's just nasty. You want to like get a shower after you read it.
yeah, and I think the manga really uses that. Like the way it does texture and like surfaces is something that just gives you this unsettling feeling that is really appropriate for a story like this, where you're never supposed to quite feel comfortable. Um, like also, when everyone's smiling and happy, it's just like, oh no, that's the smile of someone who's very fucked up.
Yeah.
Um, also, even if it was a dream, I did kind of like the little thing with his sister, where she's like, you left me all alone, and these 4 years have been really hard. And it's like, it's not a rational reaction, but I think it's an understandable emotional one.
Hmm.
And I thought that was a really cool thing to bring into something like this. And yeah, yucky, but
Yeah,
good out of
bad
10.
vibes, and I don't have the brain power to to process what's happening.
All right, what's next?
Next is Fabricant 100.
So how are we doing on the whole "this is the end" dilemma?
I don't know, a little bit less now than
Mm-hmm.
before because like I don't know, she got a whole new power out of nowhere, and it's not like she's gonna. I don't think she's gonna kill the guy. I don't really
Mm-hmm.
understand how she can light herself on fire, but I don't really care that much. She's
Mm-hmm.
fine.
So, like, did we know that this scientist was using the Fabricants to revive like his loved one or whatever?
I thought
Or is
so,
that new
yeah.
information?
I thought
Okay.
that was like part of the original plot was that he was like trying
Okay.
to bring them back and just couldn't get it right.
Okay. Yeah. Because I thought that was really brutal, that sequence where she remembers dying. Um, and then she wakes up and is confused. Um, I don't get how she can make fire, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty raw.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean it's raw. I'll give it that much.
yeah, I mean the page where she actually unlocks her fire ability on page 15, that looks really cool. Like just the
Yeah, it's
flame
just
and
the
the little
flame and the
text.
black background. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, aside from that, it wasn't super substantial. She bodied the other lady.
Yeah. It does raise a question though of like she said, "Oh, I'm gonna lose a hand here. So are they gonna let her get new parts if her hand
Yeah.
gets burned off, or is she gonna have to like progressively nerf herself every time she uses her power?" Because I imagine the human group that they're with wouldn't be like, "Okay, yeah, let's go out and get you a new hand."
Yeah, exactly. No. I mean, knowing shonen manga, that's gonna be a problem for 2 chapters, and then she's gonna learn how to like manifest a hand out of fire
Oh yeah, yeah. She's
that
gonna
can
get
do
ice
everything.
powers, which is gonna somehow fix her hand.
There's like an ice crystal's gonna start growing out of her heart. Um, she's gonna open up about her dad, who really wanted both ice and fire powers.
I was never good enough because I only had the fire, but now I
Yeah,
have the ice.
yeah. The kid's just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Number 100, what is wrong with you? Are you having a stroke?
Side effect of the firepower.
What? All for one? Quirks, wake up. We're fighting for our life. um, but yeah, it was pretty cool. I hope this doesn't end too soon. Out of 10.
Yeah, please, Shonen Jump, don't axe the only newbie that you have that's even remotely interesting out of 10.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So next up is Akane Banashi.
Which was really good, as usual.
It was really good. I like the guy because everyone else is like, oh, I gotta win this competition to get my name out there or whatever. And he's just like, I'm here to make people laugh because my old life sucked and this one is
Yeah,
rad and I don't give a shit about winning.
yeah, because also like I really thought that final like little flashback we get is so brutal. Where it's just like, if I just focus on the numbers, why did I even change my job?
hmm
It's so effective. Like I
And
kind
him
of
like
hope,
getting out of that chair, and
yeah.
like everyone else has already gone home and it's like the middle of the night vibes.
Hmm. Yeah, I kind of hope we don't get any more backstory than that because that is so good, just on its own.
Yeah, I am a little worried the next chapter is going to be like a whole backstory of him like quitting and why and all this stuff, but I think that we're good with this.
Yeah, I mean, even if we do get a backstory, I feel like they can't do much to like make it worse. I just think it would be really cool if this stinger is all we get. Um, and yeah, I just like how in a in shonen manga that is mostly known for very pretty men and very pretty women, it's kind of funny to see or cool to see sort of a pudgy guy just be an absolute beast at
Yeah,
what he
just like a
does.
pudgy old guy.
Yeah. Like he gets some really intense facial expressions as well. Um like God, don't the one on page 17 at the bottom, like the super intense stare, and it has to be that way.
hmm
It's like, buddy,
Yeah, he's got
this is
another one at on page 10.
Let me find it. Yeah,
With the super big
he's
eyes and everything. Yeah.
he's feeling the room. Like, buddy, this is not the Tenkaichi Budokai. This could he beat Goku though? He could.
Oh, but yeah, I think he could. I like this guy.
Yeah, I mean, Goku would definitely approve of Rakugo.
Yeah, Goku would
He would.
approve of anything, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't understand it, but he'd be like, "Wow, you're training to get stronger. Awesome."
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
I
you
want to
have
learn
a
that too.
what Rakugo theaters have an included like steak bar? Count me in. It's like, oh Goku, what did you think of my performance? Very good, excellent. Yeah, I mean, people. That's the problem with like Sigma male wannabes co-opting like Dragon Ball as like one of their big like aspirational franchises because Goku is like just a fucking nice guy.
Yeah, he's just like a silly guy,
Yeah,
just doing fun stuff. He doesn't give a shit
yeah.
about anything.
It's like the closest thing to like a Sigma male Dragon Ball has is Vegeta, and he's a fucking loser.
Yeah, he gets constantly fucking blasted by everyone just for the nice guy to swing in and save the day.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, yeah, Vegeta has got this power up like 3 years after Goku got it, and it's worse. It's like, oh, okay, that's your idol. I see. Um, Also for some reason, like a lot of gyms have like posters of Kid Buu in them, and
That's
I
weird.
don't know what that. Yeah, that is kind of weird. Like,
He's
what's
like
so
he's
special
like
about?
a freaky little monkey man. It's not like it's
I
not
mean,
like an aspirational goal
actually, when you put it like that, I do kind of get it. I do go to the gym to become a freaky little monkey
to
man.
become a freaky little monkey man. That's
Yeah,
the
you know that.
aspiration of all working out. How close can we get to freaky little monkey man
You know,
status?
there has to be like an underlying psychological like theory behind the fact that watching videos of monkeys and apes is always entertaining, and I think it's because there's something aspirational there.
We all secretly yearn to return to monkey.
Yes,
It's
I mean, oh
coded
my
into
god,
us.
yeah, I
That monkey
mean,
doesn't have a credit score. He just yanks on the door a lot.
yeah, exactly. He like watches a caterpillar with his son for 4 hours and he's content. Like he doesn't know what a tax form is.
He doesn't have to read the final arc of My Hero Academia.
Dude, apes have no idea what mid is. Like they don't have a concept of mid. Holy shit.
They've really got it all figured out.
Yeah, we decided to like develop our brains and our bodies and become like these horrible fucking naked space orcs or whatever. Um and meanwhile like perfection already exists on the planet. His name is Obunga and he lives in a jungle. Um okay, so what fucking we're talking about Akane Banashi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Akane Banashi is ape pilled out of 10. Take the monkey pill.
All right, the next up is Kill Blue.
So, what are your thoughts on these last two chapters?
I like them. I'm kind of there. Part of me wants to be like, this is weirdly stereotypical, but then part of me is also like, but it's also not because the guy's not into it at all. Which
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like that they're going down the stereotypical route where like the normal anime boy would be like, oh my god, oh jeez, and this one's like, oh my god, get the fuck away from me, please.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which I can
Yeah.
relate to those vibes immensely.
Yeah, because when like the last chapter ended with that cliffhanger, like, oh, you're gonna have to marry her. Brother, my incel detector like just
Oh
started
yeah, it
beeping.
got bad.
Yeah.
There was some warning signs there, but I like how in chapter 6, his entire chapter is him just being like, I'm not doing that. I don't want
Yeah.
to do that. Get away from me. Y'all are fucking
Yeah.
weird.
I think with that it has saved itself a little. Because as a setup, like, oh, he's actually an adult and he has to get close to this child is like, why the fuck are you writing that? Like what is interesting about that? Nothing. Um but the way this is done, where like no one's into it at all, it's a little more like it's a little more digestible. I hope it never progresses past this, to be honest.
I think the likely way that it goes is either one, he immediately is like, I'll put the front up so you can walk around, but like don't touch me ever.
Yeah.
Or two, because the only one who seems kind of into it right now is the girl. Funny enough, all the other adult characters are like, this is fucking lame.
Mm-hmm.
So it may be a way that he can like help her enjoy life a little bit more without actually needing to like date her. Give
Yeah.
her like some adult perspective on how life will get
Stuff.
better for her, even though it seems like she's kind of trapped right now.
Yeah. Yeah, like basically just do whatever, don't fucking turn it into an
Don't
actual
make it an
like
actual romance thing. Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
yes. Like the moment anyone blushes, this shit's immediately being reclassified as incel core.
Oh God.
Uh look, I maintain that incel core is a legitimate genre in manga and anime. Not legitimate as in it's cool that you enjoy it. It's legitimate in that it
It
absolutely exists.
exists. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean that fucking what is it called? Don't bully me, Nagatoro.
Oh God.
Um,
Yeah, that's the worst.
yeah, or
Basically, any
healer.
series with those avies on Twitter that are also notoriously racist.
Oh yeah, well except K-On! K-On! Is cool. I don't know why it attracts so many fucking racists. Like, I mean, it makes no sense. K-On! Is literally just about like what is it, middle school girls in a band, and it's just animated really prettily. There's like literally nothing there that should attract fucking Matthew McRacist from Tennessee.
Well, you just said it. Middle school girls. That's all they need.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's all they need.
Yeah, that's true.
No one their age will
Um,
talk to them because they're racist incels. So
that fair enough. Um, but yeah, no. I hope this series doesn't become incel core. But so far, it's pretty cool.
yeah, I am hopeful that it won't go that route, considering how
Hmm.
every character objected pretty hard in this chapter.
Yeah,
I'll be very disappointed if it does go that way.
yeah. I mean, I did find it a little sus that like from the objections do seem to mostly be, ugh, this is annoying, and not, ugh, this is like horribly wrong.
No, he says that.
Uh, does he? Where? Wait.
Hang on, let me find the page. But he literally says out loud, like, I'm a middle-aged man. This is fucking weird.
Well, then I forgot. I must have forgotten because that actually is good. Then if he says that out loud.
Now I have to find it because he definitely says it at some point. Unless I like. Oh yeah, here it is. It's page 10, bottom panel.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Well, in that case, good. Good for it then.
Yeah, he literally says like nothing about this is all right. Never say that to me again.
Okay.
So
In that
hopefully
case,
it stays
well,
that way.
yeah, I feel like if you're gonna bring that up, then you kind of can't walk it back.
Yeah, you can't make him be like, actually, maybe I will.
Actually,
I'm kind of hoping it goes like the very depressed kid gets a mentor kind of route, where he just
yeah.
kind of like teaches her how to appreciate what she's got.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that could be pretty cool. All right. What's next?
Next up is Mashle.
Brother, what are we doing?
Spinning the wheels, man. Same wheel we've been spinning for 2 months at least.
You know that meme where like this sine graph going up and down, and it's just like we're so fucking back. It's
Yeah,
so over. We're so fuck. That's this fucking story.
it really is.
It's like it's like Innocent Zero is invincible. We're so fucking back though. We could. Oh no, he's invincible. Oh, but more people have showed up. Oh no, he's invincible.
So did he win? Did Mash win, or is he? I might lose my mind if Innocent Zero explodes here and then comes back in another new form.
You know what? No matter what happens, I know the actual loser of this fight is gonna be us.
Yeah, I really hope the fight's over, but I don't know,
Ugh,
man.
good
I don't
lord.
know anymore. Who knows
Yeah, I mean,
anymore?
the way he beats him is also. I mean, it's kind of silly, but I didn't find it all that funny.
No, I mean, I think it was supposed to be cool and it just wasn't.
Yeah, I
They're
don't
like,
know.
oh, look how, he bet everything on, his speed, and I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
You've lost any sort of like rawness by making this fight longer than Goku and Frieza on Namek. So like I
Is
just
it
don't
actually
know.
now?
I have no idea. I hope not.
God damn. Yeah. The moment he stopped time, I was like, oh god, are we gonna get like a JoJo thing? Is he gonna be like, oh, he can move within stop time? Um,
That would have been.
I think
He's so strong he can move and stop time.
time just doesn't affect me. Yeah, just that's just Jiren. It's just a
Yeah, I
Dragon
guess
Ball
it's true.
episode.
It is.
Yeah. Jiren biceps so fat, time doesn't apply to me.
At least Dragon Ball has the excuse of like none of our hacks work on anyone because we're just that ripped. Just
Yeah.
Vegito does it too, I guess. It's just whatever.
Yeah, and I mean, Dragon Ball has the excuse of being like 40 years old and a phenomenon. And if you like don't like it, then get ready to fight the entire continent of South America. Like, you know, Dragon Ball gets away with it. It's fine. Um, I mean, I say that we did drop Super from the lineup because it was
We sure
so
did.
bad. Yeah,
We sure fucking did.
but I'm sure you know, I'm sure there is at least one taqueria in like Mexico or Brazil that has like granola drawn onto it, like cutting up some taco meat. And you know what? Like Godspeed, that is the
More
coolest
power
shit
to him,
ever.
yeah.
Yeah, like honestly, even when Dragon Ball is really bad, the best part about it is watching like people from Latin America react to it because they have that like passion to it that honestly is kind of otherworldly. Like watching the Dragon Ball Super finale like in my living room with my friend was one thing. Watching a crowd react to it
In a
in
stadium,
like
yeah,
yeah, in like
it's wild.
Argentina, like that was incredible. Yeah. So all the more power to like the South American Dragon Warriors. You got it. Anyway, Mashle's
You know
kind of
what
sucky.
doesn't got it is Mashle.
Yeah. Uh, Mashle, magic and mid out of 10.
The apes were right all along.
Yeah.
Next is Tenmaku Cinema.
This was okay.
It's all
It's
right.
kind of
Yeah, it's fine.
yeah.
I don't really care about the kid's backstory of like, oh, I was a sickly kid, so I only got to watch movies, and now I'm getting to make movies.
Hmm.
But it's fun.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel like every kind of like little art, not a manga about like I like to create as opposed to like fighting, kind of always
hmm
has this growth period where they try to make it super emotional for you, and most of the time it isn't really hitting. Um,
hmm
but I do like their little plan, and I like that the ghost guy was like, you keep saying that you're not any good at this, but you're clearly passionate about it. Like when he ran out into the water to get the shots without thinking, and now he took
hmm
the janitor cart without thinking just to get the shot. I kind of like that he's, growing into the role a little bit, even though he's constantly been like, I don't want to do this. He clearly does want to do it. It's kind of wholesome.
hmm Yeah. Um, yeah, I think that's probably the best way to describe this manga so far in general. It's wholesome, it's cute, and it's inoffensive. Like
Hmm.
it's just all right.
It's okay. Yeah,
Um,
it's fun. Is it amazing? And then probably not, but it's fun.
yeah, art is always good, always on point. Some of the pages are a little wordy, like they're
Yes.
a little crowded.
Yes. Like the
And that
like page 8 where he doesn't even bother to draw a top panel because there's so many people talking all at one time that he just puts their little heads there, and then there's still
yeah,
like a shitload of speech bubbles all over it.
yeah.
Also, the little Promised Neverland reference in there.
Which one? I didn't
where
read
he
Promised
talks about how
Neverland.
in the live action version of the Promised Neverland, about how they shot the interior and
Oh
exterior,
yeah,
the
they.
yeah,
There you go. You're right. I just overread that then.
yeah. Also,
Just
I don't know
tuned
why
out. I was.
ghosts need to sleep.
You know what? If I died, I think I would reserve myself a couple of hours for sleep.
Fair
Because
enough.
I mean,
He seems to like be exhausted though. Like he's just like, oh man. I mean, I guess there's no science to back up that ghosts don't need to sleep. But could you imagine how much that would suck? As if you're like an eternal spirit, but also you still have to get your 8 hours and you still wake up groggy and cranky every day.
I guess, but I mean, if you think about it, like you can be tired without doing anything physically, right? Like if you have an exhausting day at the office where you're kind of just sitting, but you're dealing with, Karen from HR and Martin who cannot spell his name correctly but wants you to like correct something 7 times in a row. Like that's exhausting, even though you're not like using your physical self.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like you wouldn't have energy reserves to use. Like you don't need to eat, right? If they don't need to eat, why do they need to sleep?
You know what? There's a funnier explanation. The ghost just fucking with the kid.
I like that answer actually. Just being an asshole.
Yeah, he's like, oh no, yeah, I'm totally tired. Ugh. He's a quick kid. Get me a Crunchwrap Supreme. I've been missing them ever since I died. But yeah, Tenmaku
Uh,
Cinema, it's
yeah,
fine. It's
it's
all
fine.
right.
Inoffensive, pretty neat out of 10.
Yes,
Next we have Undead Unluck.
I sure am happy the space arc is over because I don't think I
Yes.
caught it.
My God.
I don't think I understood what this was about. I
Yeah,
don't think
that
it
this
connected
did
with
not
me.
mesh with me for even a moment. It was exhausting. It kept doing that thing where they're like, "Oh no, we have a new problem. Oh, we solved the problem."
Yeah.
Like immediately. And it's
Hmm.
just, I don't know. How many times can they be like, "Phil, don't do it. Phil, you're gonna die, Phil." Oh, Phil's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, oh,
Uh,
Phil's all right.
yeah. I mean, if this was the arc that was supposed to make me like really like Phil, I just never want to read his name again
Yeah,
because
I'm so sick of the word. I've read the word Phil so many times that it doesn't seem like a real word anymore. You know, when you say a word too much, and you're like, is that really what that word
yeah.
is?
You mean
I
like fair in that one chapter?
Yes, where I literally was like, this can't be a thing that they're saying. At least
Yeah.
with that, it was like thematically, they were like, haha, that's his whole thing. This is just a
Hmm.
kid's name.
No, Zen, you don't get it. They're trying to fulfill his wish.
Unfill, is that his power?
Yes. His cup is always empty. um. Oh my God! Actually, isn't his power unfeel?
Yeah,
Unfeel.
it's very close, yeah.
In Japanese, it might actually be close enough. Feel is firu. Feel is firu. Yeah, isn't it? Someone in the comments can correct me, but oh
Someone
my
can
God,
correct that, yeah.
that's totally it. That's my headcanon now. Oh my God. Yeah. No, this was not a good arc for me. I did not enjoy this very much. I think because it exclusively happened in a time of my life where I just didn't care much about manga in general, that probably didn't help. But I just didn't connect with this whatsoever, and I am glad it is gone and done, so we can focus on like other members that are maybe more interesting.
Yeah,
Basically,
I'm not vibing with the space alien child. No
yes,
interest in Phil out of 10,
yeah.
unfortunately.
My wishes are unfulfilled out of 10.
Next up is Do Retry.
Do a retry, more like do retry. God damn, this
More
guy
like don't
stinks.
retry. This
Yeah,
shit fucking sucks, dude.
fuck it. I thought, when you start a series with like the harrowing effects of like post World War Japan, I thought we were in for like something a little, a little over the top, but ultimately kind of serious.
It
And
literally
then they,
starts with like the ravages of World War II have left me with an ill sister that I cannot care for. And then
yeah,
this chapter is just big arm.
Captain Jerkoff.
He looks like, you know when SpongeBob gets the inflatable arms?
Yes,
He
yes.
looks like he's just wearing one of those.
Oh my god. You know, they should just commit to this, and the ultimate solution to beating him is popping his arm like a balloon.
No,
God,
I
no,
think it
that.
would be really funny if our main guy also had to get a big arm. It's the only way to, he even has like a gangster name around his one big arm.
Yeah, sorry, if you walk around like that, you're not called Warhammer. You're called Sticky Socks. No, like, oh my god. Like, turning that page genuinely did feel like deflating a balloon. It was like, oh no. Like, that's just killed a lot of my
If you're gonna
enthusiasm for
take
this
the
series.
time to work out enough to get one arm really big, why don't you just work out everything all at once?
Next chapter, they're gonna pick up the kid, and they're like, "Ah, kid, don't sweat it. I have a foolproof plan. You're just gonna work out the other arm, and then you're gonna be faster than him." I just almost knocked my mic over with my normally sized arm. God, no. I mean, I feel like we do need to explain this a little more because we did go from liking it to shitting it really quickly. But you know, the tone it established and the tone, especially at the end of this chapter, are so wildly apart that it just kind of destroys at least my sort of established framework of the series. It's like I don't know what to expect anymore in a bad way. Because I thought, this is gonna focus on like him trying to get his sister out of the hospital, trying to get her taken care of. But no, apparently we are going to go for like JoJo ass villains, but dumber. Um, yeah, no, this shit was cheeks. I'm sorry, awful.
It's terrible. Yeah, it's just got awful. Like there's just nothing in here that I can, because I could kind of connect emotionally in the beginning, of like, oh, he's got to join this gang to get money for his sister because his sister's sick. But it's become
Hmm.
so comical at this point that like I can't take it seriously.
Hmm.
It it even started in this one with like, oh, you're right, I'm pulling some strings to keep your sister here. She really needs the money. And then in the very next page, it's like Daffy Duck Looney Tunes bullshit.
The kid, don't worry, I have a solution for this. You ever heard of the Ultra Hand ability? Like, you just stick like a bomb here, and you're good to go.
Just make a bunch of little logs and stick them together and make a really big bridge, and your problems are solved.
Yeah, shout out to my girl. She's fighting Water Blight Ganon in Breath of the Wild right now.
Oh, nice. I love Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I've been replaying it, and I forced it on her in the same time, and she did the old mistake of getting addicted.
Yeah, the classic Zelda error of playing one and realizing it's really good.
Yeah, yeah, because like I played like 2 hours of Breath of the Wild and I was like, damn, this shit kind of slaps. And within like an evening, I had literally all of the games downloaded and ready to play on my computer.
Hmm.
So yeah, yeah, that's probably gonna
Yep.
be one of my next things. So like, this chapter isn't worth talking about. So what do you think of Wind Waker?
Ah, dude, I love Wind Waker. I love that game.
Okay, good,
That game's
because I've
great.
heard good things, and I
Yes,
think that's the next one I'm playing.
extremely good game. There's
Okay,
one part of it that gets kind of tedious, but that's it, and the rest of it is peak.
okay. What about what's it called? Skyward Sword.
I hate Skyward Sword. That game
Uh,
sucks so much.
Why? Why is it too like
One,
handholdy?
it's like shitty Wii motion controls.
Mm-hmm.
They're terrible. Two, I don't want to like spoil too much of it. Not that there's really a plot to it. Um, but the Master Sword is like a little girl, actually,
Oh,
and she
okay.
turns into the sword. Um, and then like you play half the game
Mm-hmm.
and you get through like three temples, and then the game's like, hey, you know what would be cool if you did those again, and you just go
Oh.
back through the ones you've already done. And that's the second half of the game. Um, the bad guy is like Ganondorf's sword,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and he's just like a meanie sword that you're fighting
Mm-hmm.
against.
Hmm.
And then there is the only good thing in it is Groose, who is just this big meathead idiot who really likes Zelda like it's a high school movie. And he's
Oh,
like, "Oh,
okay.
Link, you're a nerd, and I'm the best, and Zelda should date me." And then she
Hmm.
doesn't.
Damn. All right, all right, all
But his
right.
name is
Yeah,
Groose, which is very close to Goose, and he's funny,
yeah.
so I'm there for it. But
That is
everything
that.
else
That is
sucks.
pretty cool.
So
Okay. Yeah, because I got the Switch version, the one without the motion control. So I was hoping that that would be a little less tedious.
no, like so there's the sky and everything, because the whole thing
Hmm.
is like, oh, you don't have to go through Hyrule Field anymore. Now it's the sky. But there's like
Hmm.
nothing in the sky. It's
Okay.
just like a lot of rocks and there's like one
Okay.
house. There's like a tavern that
Okay.
you can go to, sort of, to like help him farm pumpkins. Uh,
Yo.
but there's like nothing there. So it's like, oh, you can explore the sky and do all this stuff, but not really, because you
Hmm.
can, but there's nothing to find. It's just
Okay.
barren.
Okay. Okay.
And then going down to Hyrule is cool and all, but the it loses its luster when you have to just replay everything you did before.
I bet. Yeah. No, that does
Oh, and
sound
there's
really
stealth
tedious.
segments. Who doesn't like stealth segments in games not built to have
Oh,
them?
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, that era in gaming was cool, where like all
yeah,
games had a stealth segment.
yeah. There's stealth
Um,
segments and they suck. They're really bad.
well, I can't think of a non-stealth game with a good stealth segment. I mean, even
That's
Breath of the
true.
Wild's bad, like the Yiga Clan hideout thingy. Um, what about how's Twilight Princess?
Good, solid. You
Okay.
can tell it's got some like it's got some darker vibes because they overcorrected really hard after Wind Waker. Because believe it or not, the
Oh,
initial reaction to Wind Waker was, "Why does it look like this? Why isn't it
well, I.
cool adult Link from Ocarina of Time again?"
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so they kind of overcorrected a little hard the other way, and it got a little too edgy. And the wolf is not
Okay.
very fun, but otherwise it's very good.
Okay. All right. Damn. In that case, I look forward to playing
Link the
Zelda. I do
werehog, if
not.
you will.
Yeah, I will not look forward to reading more Do Retry.
Correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
do retry. Sucks.
Yeah, sucks out of 10. Rather play Zelda.
Worse than Skyward Sword out of 10. Uh,
What's next?
ugh, it's New Age Exorcist.
All right, so Zelda, right?
This is the most AI generated series I've ever seen in my life. I'm not convinced it's not like a chat GPT psyop.
I mean, I don't want to say that because that's like really rude towards a creative. But oh my god, this is not good.
It's
This is not.
so it's the most like remember the episode of South Park where Family Guy is written by manatees who just hit balls out of a tank and whatever they
Yeah.
hit is what they put. That's what this is. This is just like they have a bunch of manatees in a tank full of anime tropes and whatever one they
Hmm.
smack out is what they put in this chapter.
Yeah. Um. Also, the moment they introduced the second suspiciously big tittied girl that just happens to really like the guy, yeah, my incel particle detector started going off.
Yeah, she even gets a
Uh,
panty shot, which is crazy to me.
yeah, out of nothing, out of
From just
nowhere.
walking. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I assumed it was the ghost lady who did it because she then like has like an instant transmission
Oh,
panel
that's
right
true. She
after.
has speed lines on her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's playing matchmaker.
The only thing that I thought was funny, because I did think it was legitimately funny, was when she does the forgetting beam, and then the next panel is him actually getting blasted apart by
Yeah,
it.
that,
I
that
thought
was
that was
actually
pretty
cool.
funny.
That
But
was cool.
yeah, the rest of it is just not interesting. And of course, she's actually an exorcist the whole time,
Yes.
which fine. Also, remember how he's not supposed to use his powers very much? Where did that
Yeah.
go?
Uh, up the panty shot.
Yeah, was that purely so we could get a panel of him with his head on that girl's lap, and then we're never gonna talk about it again?
Basically. Um, but yeah, no, this. I mean, the art is good. The art is pretty cool. Even if I don't like his character design.
Yeah, I find him weird too. I don't know why, because he's not that strange, but I just don't like his design.
I think it's the fact that his design is just strange enough to where you'd expect someone to mention it, and no one does.
Yeah, because he looks like a little weird compared to everyone else in like the world.
Well, yeah, because he has like a almost a tattoo on his face, and
Yeah,
then a
like
single strand
where
of
his
black
hair
hair.
is, it's also on his skin.
Yeah, like it's not like in, and he's the only one who looks like that. Everyone else
Hmm.
looks fairly normal. It's not like early 2000s like high school slice of life anime where like
Yeah, like weird
everyone
features to them and stuff.
yeah, everyone has like a Rorschach test as a hair as like a hair design. But he really sticks out, and it crosses that line into, hey, someone should mention this. I kind of get the same vibe from like when in early Naruto, when he at the Chunin exams uses the Nine Tails, and afterwards like none of the kids ask him about it.
Yeah,
Or
what
like,
was that? Yeah.
yeah, like you don't want to know why he had like this massive fucking demon inside of him, and also you don't want to know why this kid has like a random black tattoo that matches his random black strain of hair. Like, okay. Yeah, no, this is not very good.
No, and
I
I'm
am
not super
so
interested
tuned
in the
out.
like I'm a lowly nerd, gaining confidence in myself. It kind of feels like you're kind of at like incel core level where this guy's like,
Yeah.
I'm a complete loser and everyone hates me, but actually I'm awesome and girls are super into guys like me.
Hmm.
It's off-putting, to be
I
honest.
my inner qualities are so good that they will convince girls to give me panty shots of other girls.
Hmm.
I got
Also,
that
do we
panty
really need the
shot
shot
whiz.
on page 20 where the spirits are coming out and they just immediately go for her boobs?
Well, I mean, honestly, this is just the way it is. I mean,
It's never gonna,
like you
yeah.
can, yeah.
It's
I
the
mean, that's
kind of
even
series that it is.
well. I mean, to be fair, that doesn't that also happen at least in the anime for Jujutsu Kaisen in the first
It
episode when like the
does. It
spirits.
does, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when the thing's like grabbing her all over. But to be, at least in that instance, it's like all over her. Where this one literally looks like it's cupping her chest. Only her chest.
He's like coming out of like his spirit dimension, and he's the first thing he's like, "Whoa, what the fuck? What is this?"
I guess he's been stuck in that room long enough. I don't know.
No, he's just like, "What? The proportions are all wrong. What's happening?"
He's trying to figure out what happened.
Like he crosses over from the spirit realm, and the first thing he's heard, she's like, "Orihime, what are you doing here?" But yeah, yeah, not good. Not don't have a lot of fun with this. Again, I don't want to call it AI generated because it is, a bit of a harsh insult for something that's made by a human, but it could pass as AI generated, I guess. Like I'm trying because it does. I do think you hit on something important here that it has this distinct. I don't know how to describe it even. Like it's just a lack of something.
A lack of any sort of feasible identity whatsoever.
I guess, yeah.
Like think of any insult that anyone has levied toward like the influx of exorcism manga since Demon Slayer exploded.
Yeah.
Uh, Whether valid or not for the one it was aimed at, and I guarantee you it works when pointed at this.
Yeah, basically.
Like
And yeah, no.
there's just nothing in here.
And I also think you also pointed out something important, which is that it feels off-putting the way he's being characterized. I don't know. Something about it just feels yeah, incelly sort of like light novel ish.
Yeah, it has very much has like the visual novel vibe of like uh, because I think you know, there's ways to write like a guy who's not particularly like a popular cool dude getting girls,
Hmm.
like that's fine. Like I would say Taiki kind of qualifies as like
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so.
kind of just like a guy, nothing really particularly special about him. But he's got a couple of admirers because he's a good person and like he knows them and that he's spent a lot of time with them. Uh,
Hmm.
this feels like, oh, you know, are you a sorry nerd who doesn't get any ladies? Well, look at this sorry nerd who doesn't get any ladies. He's actually really cool, and all the hot ladies want to sexually harass each other for his benefit because he's actually so cool inside.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think actually Taiki is a great example because I think the other thing that distinguishes Taiki is that he has a thing he's good at, like an actual tangible hobby. Because I think that's actually one of the issues with a lot of like loner protagonists is that their only character trait is that they're loners, right? Like their only character trait is that they spend all their time alone, that they're lonely, that they tell themselves they don't mind, but actually they totally do mind. Whereas with Taiki, because he has because he has badminton, it feels like he is not a loner. He is a person who happens to not have a lot of friends. And I think that distinction does change the taste and the texture of the story quite a bit. Whereas here, this guy, yeah, he's just kind of a loser.
And
Like,
like
there's
with
no,
Taiki as well, the things that people like about him are tangible aspects of his character that are unrelated to any of this. Like,
yeah,
you know, Shinatsu gets to know him and kind of respects him because he's got drive and he's constantly pushing himself to do better, even though he's not like the superstar by default, you know?
mm-hmm.
And I can't picture the childhood friend's name, Misa, but Mina. Um,
Yeah,
they grew up together, so like she knows him better than most people. This is literally just like a hot girl bumps into him and starts hitting on him, and I guess you could say the excuse is that like she knows he's got like powers or something, so she's scoping him out, but it's not gonna stop happening.
mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
you can
exactly.
excuse it with like, oh, she's doing it on purpose, but it's not gonna stop. This is the kind of character she's gonna be forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And and
exactly.
and there's nothing about him that is interesting or like enticing other than, oh, he's the main character who has the powers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh, yeah, I think that's actually probably also a good thing is that with Taiki or another character like him, it's interesting to follow them because they are interesting people. Like Taiki is actually finding himself in a fairly special position, and we'll talk about that. With this guy, it really is like the story is very much trying to make him feel like a protagonist, but his only protagonist quality is that he happens to have the powers.
Hmm.
Which again, if you compare that to sort of more battle shonen characters, look at someone like Naruto or even Goku. It's like the thing that makes them interesting isn't just that they have power; it's that they have a tangible character that is reacting to an environment in a way that is actually sort of interesting. With this guy, you have that sort of, but it's just so sanded down and has so little of like the I guess the substance that you'd want from something like this because he keeps saying like, oh, he's a loner, he doesn't have friends, he doesn't really doesn't know what to do with girls, but it's like, why really, and how, in what way? You're just kind of a guy so far.
Yeah, and
Like in
that's kind of the only thing that we like about. I know it's only like chapter 3 or whatever, but like it feels weird to me that we're 3 chapters in and the only tangible personality trait that you have for your main character is he's a loser.
yeah,
And it's not like particularly for any reason, right? Like there's no like, oh, people don't like me because I'm weird because I like this kind of thing. It's just like I'm a fucking loser and everyone tells me what to do, and I do that
yeah,
thing.
yeah, exactly. Like I don't know. Like I'm sure there's like a million counter arguments for basically everything we just said here. Because I don't know all of shonen manga, and I'm sure someone can like absolutely destroy that. But I don't know. Something about this guy feels distinctly less distinct than about other characters, and that is holding this series back tremendously, alongside its other very tropey qualities.
Hmm.
Out
It
of 10,
reminds me of
basically.
what's that one? What was that one that got canceled not too long ago? Duran
Oh
that was
yeah.
just the little guy and his little friend. This kind of
Hmm.
just feels like that, but with more titties for its target audience.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, damn. No, this is not good out of 10.
People are going to be so stoked seeing how long the segment of this is that if anyone likes it, they're going to be really
Mhm.
disappointed.
I mean, hey, will they be more disappointed than people who see the 20-minute do retry segment?
At least we talk about something good in that segment.
That's true.
Um, all right, so next I believe we're into. No, we're not. We still have to talk about My Hero Academia's from last week.
Yes. Which has once again gone on an unannounced break.
Yes, because Horikoshi is uh, the images of Toya in the actual chapters here. Those are actual portraits of Horikoshi.
Come on.
Is he
I
slowly
mean,
fading from existence because he won't just take a vacation?
yeah, because what is that? That's 5 emergency breaks in like 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
That's awful. That's
Mm-hmm.
really, really bad. Um, and it is starting to really hurt the story. Not just in like a oh the story is bad kind of way because either you agree or disagree with that, but like the pacing's extremely weird. We're getting like 11 and 13-page chapters and it ends up feeling like every chapter is incomplete. Like just as you're getting into something, the
Mm-hmm.
chapter's over already. Like I think chapters 389 and 388 were probably meant as one chapter. And he just didn't finish the second half in time because they just sort of have that vibe.
Well, yeah, because
Um,
the beginning of that chapter and the end of this one is like the same. Like it's all the same content. It's just kind of like them showing up and then Toya being like, "Oh, my family's here."
mhm. um, but none of that matters because what is the true crime of this chapter is Hori drawing the single rawest image of Todoroki he's ever put to page and
And
adding
then
the phrase "We've got 5 wieners on our side"
yeah,
to it.
I understand it's supposed to be a callback because the little kids used to call him that.
Uh
Um,
huh.
but maybe don't do like a really raw action scene and, he's rushing in to like stop his estranged brother from blowing up a city and then
Uh
be like,
huh.
"Go get him, Five Cocks. You're the man." Like, don't do that.
Like whenever people bring stuff like that up, my thoughts are always: Is Horikoshi a machine? Does he have like a mandate of 7 callbacks per chapter? Like
Yeah,
he didn't need to call back there. He could have called back at any point earlier. He didn't need to place it there.
I
Frankly,
feel
five
like a much
wieners.
better point right there would have been when they first started zooming off.
Yeah. And
Like
also,
that
I'm
would have been
sorry.
fine.
Yeah. And also, I'm sorry. 5 wieners is not that important of a thing to call back to.
Yeah, it's not. That was kind of something that I was thinking too. Is like, is that really important enough of a callback to make it like the cliffhanger callback?
Yeah, not at all. Like that's the other problem I have with that counter and in general with Hori for the last like year or so. It's that sure callbacks can be a cool way to sort of bring your story full circle, but some of these are not necessary. Who the fuck was out here thinking, "Oh man, I wish they would bring it back up that he's called 5 wieners by
Yeah, I
these
wish
like
those
three kids."
kids that he helped for like a couple chapters that called him Five Wieners would appear again.
Yeah, like it means nothing. It's a meaningless callback because that moment where it's like, "Oh yeah, he's acclimating the kids and he's like helping them." The fact that they called him 5 wieners had nothing to do with that. So you could call back to that in any one way. You could honestly just show the kids watching him. That would already be enough.
Hmm.
The nickname means has no relation to him. It has no relation to his journey. It's just I guess he really wanted to put something silly on top of something raw, and I do not respect that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
stupid.
I mean, Twitter's already memed that to hell and back, so there's not much more we can say about it other than obviously it's like really clearly, transparently stupid.
Yeah.
Um,
Like save us, the cock and ball brigade.
but like, Hori's always kind of been a callback merchant, so like I guess it's fine. But the point again, yeah, is like, does everything need one? Also,
Yeah,
can
exactly.
I just point out, did Hawks really have to kill twice? Because twice has been using the multi-million gazillion Uberman technique for like 17 chapters, and Uraraka's winning.
Look,
How dangerous was he really?
look. So here's the thing with the twice plot point. I'm sure we're gonna return to it in the next chapter. I haven't really looked at leaks, so I don't know. But this is one of those issues with Hori's pacing and with Hori's treatment of twice because now, basically, the moment we like switch to twice, and he won't be just decimating everyone, and he probably won't, because Hori does not have that sauce anymore. Um, you just, by retrospect, make a lot of the series a lot worse, and that's kind of the problem with this entire war arc. It's just that, oh, this was actually like that all along. Okay, bet. There goes my favorite arc down the toilet, I guess.
And I know it's like, oh, Twice's version could copy the quirks and Toga's can't or whatever, but like I don't care about that information. It, I think part of it too is the problem is like we have all of these different things happening and we
Mm-hmm.
can only see one thing at a time and he keeps, jumping around between locations, but they're all supposed to be happening concurrently. So the only thing
Mm-hmm.
that I'm forced to assume is that Uraraka and her gunhead martial arts is enough to like body 700 Toga clones while all this other shit is going on.
Yeah, like honestly, why even bother like considering twice a threat? Just airdrop a gunhead into it. It's like fucking a base jumping like the start of Metal Gear Solid 3 into like an ocean of twices. He's like cocking his forearms like, just another day on the job. He's like, oh, this is a little tough. Send him back up. And like Uraraka jumps in with a fucking like karate belt and
Yeah, like
just
look at the
chop.
panel. She's like slamming one on the ground and like flipping around and destroying a couple. Like, how dangerous is he really?
Yeah, like really can't be that much. Um,
I don't know. And like I know, like I've seen a couple of leaks. I didn't actually read them. I only seen the ones that have been retweeted onto my timeline, so I don't know if it's as terrible as it sounds. But I feel like we're about to get a really unsatisfying conclusion to this.
yeah. I mean, I would be surprised if we got a satisfying one, to be completely
Yeah,
honest.
and it's like, which is unfortunate because this is like the one plot line that's been consistently good, even while everything else has been bad.
Hmm.
And I feel like we're about to get just some absolute mediocrity.
Yeah, I mean, I do like Dobby's thing at the start, sort of. Well, at the start. The start of the chapter is basically the end already. Where he's just like, "Wow, if it was so simple to get your attention, why the fuck did I not do this sooner?" Slash, why did you not look at me sooner? Like, I
Mm.
think it's a nice bit of sort of textual multiplicity there. But no, I think uh and since this is my last episode on here, I'm gonna end my hero with this analogy. Just how like Ida's fucking or like Toroki's ice airplane is breaking apart because they're going so fast. That's what's happening to my hero. It is going at a speed and pace that is unsustainable for all of its plot points, and it's just falling apart as a result of it. And we're gonna get to the finish line sooner rather than later, but we probably will be just a smoldering piece of shit like Dobby. So there you go.
Yeah, I
That's
really wish he would
that's
just take a month off and
yeah. I mean,
go back to writing quality again.
I hope once this wraps up, he just takes a very long vacation, or maybe
Yeah, I
even
better not
retires.
see the
Because
next manga from Kohei Horikoshi in like a month after this thing ends.
no, I mean, oh God, no, I don't want to imagine that. Like this man, I mean, it's also sad because he's clearly excited about what he's writing, but he's just not in a position to be writing this shit anymore.
No, and like
Um,
I understand that like, oh, I'm scared I'm gonna get canceled, but like, are you really at this point?
mhm,
I get that you can like have some PTSD from it because it's happened to you before and it was probably pretty defeating when you're like, I might lose out on my dream of doing this because I keep getting canceled. But also
mhm,
like you are one of, if not the top build series in the magazine right now.
mhm.
Probably. People who
Yeah,
have a lot less clout in the organization than you do have absolutely taken serious break time.
yeah,
Take a
exactly.
break, man, before you physically cannot look at Togashi, dude. Don't turn out like him.
Yeah,
Please.
exactly.
Not that Togashi's can entirely be blamed upon just bad scheduling because he has a literal medical condition. But I mean, Horikoshi's
Well,
like the dude's running on fumes, clearly. Everyone can
yeah,
see it. And like it's not there's no way to twist it that like, oh, he's only writing, 11-page chapters and he's taking a break every other week, an emergency unplanned break every other week. That's by design. Like
yeah,
clearly
because
he's suffering immensely.
There's another this weekend. There's going to be a chapter, but there's another break after that as well. So like this is not sustainable, and I do get it from like a passion point of view that you want to like just do your thing your way. I mean, that's kind of Togashi's thing. But yeah, everyone has medical problems at one point in their life. You might not now, you might in 10 years or 5 years, and you know what is absolutely the worst thing to combine with medical troubles? A job like this.
Yeah,
Um,
an unrelenting work schedule.
yeah. So no, yeah, I mean, he's clearly committed to keeping this up until the end. Um, so I really just hope that once this is over, he takes the recovery time that he needs and then maybe actually just retires because he's definitely I would assume he's made enough money off of My
Oh,
Hero
he's
to
gotta have. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
unless his deal is atrociously bad or something, he's gotta be set monetarily.
Well, the deals are generally pretty bad for them. Uh but they're bad in a sense where like at this size it kind of stops mattering. Like it's bad if you're sort of in the Mashle situation where you're decently successful and there's an anime coming out that like 10 people are watching.
Hmm.
Um like then it's a pretty shitty deal. But I think at Hori's size, I would have expected it to, pay dividends.
Yeah, I would
Uh,
be forced to assume.
yes, but yeah, my hero is mid out of 10. That's the final thing I'll ever publicly say about the series. I think.
Damn, end of
Yeah,
an era for real.
yeah, because I'm not gonna make a video on it anymore. I don't talk about it on Twitter anymore. So yeah, mid Hero Academia. Actually, that's how it ends. God damn it.
That's how it is. All
Yeah,
right, then next up we have Blue Box.
man. We gotta be building to something big here.
We have to be. Yeah,
Yeah,
this was a great chapter. I relate a lot to this also because in high school I dated throughout most of high school, like all of it really.
yeah,
And
yep,
you know that era where you have no control over your own physical location at that age,
yes.
really, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so the girl I was with at the time, we were constantly like trying to find convenient ways we could be relatively near one another to justify something like this. So I had some
Yeah,
very specific nostalgia hit reading this
yeah.
chapter.
Actually, same. Although for me it was a single occurrence when I was dating a girl, and we had a bit of a fight, if I remember correctly, over the holidays, and then I went to Venice with my family, and then I text her like, "Hey, so where you at? What you doing?" She's like, "Oh, I'm on holiday in Venice." I'm like, "Oh shit." You try to make something happen, but also you don't know what the actual vibe is.
Hmm.
So in that sense, this also sort of hit, especially because of that, where it's like, oh, I want to meet her, but oh, I said we should talk then and not today. Won't this be awkward? Like, yeah, no, this is good stuff. It's again harnessing a very specific kind of hurt.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, no, actually, if this builds up to nothing, I'm actually dropping this fucking manga. Like, I'm
Damn.
sorry.
Yeah, I'll
Like,
be
I'm
pretty
sorry.
disappointed as well if this just
You
turns out to be like a nothing.
like this feels like the biggest build up to anything we've gotten. And if this ends up being like some stupid gag, I mean at that point like why bother
Yeah,
even
if he runs
why
over
bother?
and she's not there or something, I'm gonna be like, dude, like,
Well, no, if she's not there that's one thing, but I mostly mean once they do have a confrontation. Like whether
oh,
it
they
be
talk and
now,
he's just like, haha, just wanted to see what you wanted for your room when you come back.
yeah, if he like chickens out or if it ends in like a super inconclusive way where it's like, "Oh, now they're both just insecure and scared." It's like, "No, like this is chapter 102.
Hmm.
Give me some of that turkey. Give me some of that."
Does this end with the kiss, do you think?
You see, if this was like an American-made TV show, I would say definitely. But this is a shonen manga publishing in Shonen Jump, which is notoriously a little a little reserved when it comes to this kind of stuff. As is a lot of Japan still, to be fair. And there's nothing wrong with that in theory. Um, But it does mean that I am very wary of assuming that there'll be anything physical happening. I'd be very glad if it did, but I just don't think that's what the series can get away with. Because even when they had like the fake kiss with Hina at the festival, even that one was censored.
Yeah,
Um,
but I think that was censored so that we didn't realize that he faked it right away, I feel like.
oh yeah, okay, that's true. Um, but yeah, I don't think we're gonna get a kiss. If anything, we're gonna get like a very pretty panel, them holding each other, and finally like actually fucking confessing to the thing that's obvious to everyone.
Yeah, it does
Um,
seem like the hug is the limit of what they can get away with.
brother, when I tell you, if when I got to the end of like Full Metal Alchemist, and they're like, he like, oh yeah, will you marry me? And they just fucking hug. I was like, oh my god, are you fucking kidding me? Like all of this and a hug is all we get. Like, that shit actually pisses me off every time it happens. But I know it's inevitable with shonen manga. There's always gonna be sort of that element of oh, you can't show anything too raunchy, and by raunchy I mean holding hands.
Yeah. Yeah, all right.
Um,
Fair. That's fair.
yeah. But yeah, no, I really liked this chapter. I thought it was really cool, sort of building up to that, like that anxiety of like, oh, I don't know where we stand, and I wish I could talk to her, and oh no, now I have an opportunity.
Hmm.
Ooh, do I do it? Let's do it. Like it's a really satisfying like elevation of tension. Um, so yeah, no, I really like this chapter, and I hope to God it's actually leading up to something.
Yes, please. A
Yes,
result of some kind, please.
yeah, out of 10.
All right. Next, we have got Jujutsu Kaisen.
Which honestly has just been rawness and swag.
Yeah, there's not really a whole lot to talk about here. It's just like they do be fighting, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
But it is pretty cool, so I still
yeah.
liked it more than most other stuff. I don't know why
Um,
Gojo's dressed like Toji. I don't know why.
for swag, and Gakuganji killed the upper ups, the higher ups of the Jujutsu Society, so that's pretty cool.
I thought Kenjaku did it.
Did it was it Kenjaku or was it Gakuganji? I just know it's not Gojo.
I don't think it was Gaku. I don't think Gakuganji's strong enough to do that.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe it was Kenjaku.
I thought the implication was that Kenjaku had already killed them all by this point.
Okay, well, that's also cool. Um, but yeah, fight is literally just in a way it is kind of just keys jingling, but in a
It's
positive way.
100% just jingling colorful plastic keys in my face, but I'm about it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's the difference between jingling keys Jujutsu Kaisen and jingling keys derogatory in the case of My Hero. um, I also like that Gojo's explanation for why he can fight Sukuna so easily is just like you look like Toji now.
Yeah, yeah, I can fight Megami no problem because he looks like his dad, who I hate.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, Gojo dodges a move by laying on the floor. That was pretty cool.
Hmm. I do like this is a good callback here. I do like that he said, you think I won't hurt you because you look like Megami. One, the joke of like, haha, you look like your dad. But two, the callback all the way to the beginning of you died once in Yuji's body and were able to bring him back. So now I know that like I can fight Megami without having to worry about him. So I can
Hmm.
save Megami after I beat you. Um,
Hmm. Yeah, that
was
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 actually really
a
good.
good callback. That's a good use of a callback.
Hmm. And I also like Sukuna's little thing where he's like, "Oh, you're just a fish. I'm gonna cut you up." It's like, damn, we got Master Chef over here.
Yeah, he's good. They really got the chef vibes going.
Well, I saw quite a few like threads on Twitter of people like, "Oh, the like kanji and symbolism behind Sukuna's weird cooking obsession," and I was like, "Damn, I'm gonna read that never." But I'm sure
Yeah,
it's
that
really
sounds really
interesting.
interesting. I'm not gonna read that.
Yeah, I do
Um,
not have that attention span,
yeah,
but
I mean,
shout
I
out
know
to
because
anyone
he's
who
like a
does.
cannibal, so I'm assuming that like cooking is a big part of his thing. Because that's like why Orome exists, is because she cooked humans real good.
Yeah.
Um, but
Can I
yeah, that
say
was
though? Can I say though? Utahime's curse technique being like hidden for such a long time, only to end up being like, oh, she buffs people around her. That's kind of lame.
yeah.
That,
Well, because they drew attention to it back in Shibuya, and nothing ended up coming of it. Um,
yeah.
and so I was like, oh man, it's got to be like something crazy. You know,
Yeah.
because the who it was like the little witch girl, Momo, I think her name is, who was
Yeah.
like, all we have to do is hold out until Urahime's ready. And I was like, damn,
Hmm.
Urahime's got something that's gonna flip the script on Kenjaku. And apparently all it was that I guess she could have buffed Yuki, who didn't really seem to want to fight anyway. So
Yeah.
like
Actually, I don't know if you went back and reread the chapter because they actually fixed the translation issue. Because originally it said that she can only buff a single person, but actually she buffs everyone in her radius.
everyone that she wants to, I think was what they said, right? Like she
Any
doesn't.
target sorcerer, any targeted sorcerer within
Yeah.
its range. Yeah, so target anyone she wants to. But yeah, because originally it said that it only buffed one person.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
Which like
But yeah,
fine,
no,
I
that
guess, but yeah, a little underwhelming for the
I
reveal after
honestly
all this time.
I honestly think Giga just hadn't thought about it before and just made it up
Probably,
here.
yeah. He was like, "Ah, shit, should
Yeah.
put something down."
Um, but yeah, very cool. I like the sequence in the chapter before this one of Gojo chanting the full Hollow Purple. That was actually really
Yeah,
cool.
that was cool.
I get weirdly hyped when they like do a full chant and it's just nonsense in English, whereas in
Hmm.
Japanese it's probably like deeply meaningful. But he's just like nine ropes, polarized light, crow and declaration between front and back, Hollow Purple. It's like okay, buddy.
Yeah, whatever it is, but also pretty cool.
Yeah, raw. It's pretty raw. Um, yeah, and I like that Sukuna and Gojo have like a little bro walk at the end.
Yeah, where
They
they're
just sort
kind
of
of like
hang out.
just like chatting.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
pretty
don't
cool,
know if
I
this
think.
was a I don't know if it was an intentional like Hunter x Hunter reference, but when Gojo drops down into like the Gon punch pose
Hmm.
on page 17, that was pretty neat.
Oh yeah, the Jajanken.
Yeah, he's doing the little rock punch pose.
Hmm.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
I'm
pretty
there for
cool.
that.
Right. Uh, what's next?
Next up is Sakamoto Days. Uh,
Which was
damn,
also just raw.
it was super raw. Oh man, this was raw as hell. The
Yeah,
whole beginning, I'm kind of sad that we didn't get to see like how she died. You know?
yeah, that was really quick, wasn't it?
Yeah, all of a sudden she's just dead. It was a little weird.
Yeah.
Um,
I wonder if there's more to it that we're not being shown yet.
that like it's intentionally like she's not really dead or something like
That or
that.
that, that or that maybe that her dying was like her idea or something like
Or yeah,
that.
yeah, maybe she killed herself to help him or something. I don't know.
Hmm.
But yeah, extremely cool fight as Sakamoto always is. The spread on what pages are these? 8 to 9, super cool.
Hmm.
The whole fight is really fucking cool. The move where he gets wrapped up in the chain and he flips his coat off is fucking sick.
Yeah, also just fantastic like motion use of motion lines and panel
Yes,
spacing. Just looks
yes.
so kinetic. Incredible.
Yeah, you have no problem like following every inch of the fight from start to finish, which
Hmm.
I love. And then he uses his jacket as like a insulation against the bladed bits of it to throw the
Yeah.
dude. And I thought
God, it's so
the
good.
ending was nice, the little bit where he wins and they just kind of have this little moment where like it's not a super deep moment, but I like him saying, just let me bleed out, shoot me somewhere else so I bleed out so I can look at the sky while I die. And they're both kind of like,
Yeah.
I'm kind of sick of it all, because Sakamoto is a retired assassin. He also got sick of it all at the end, and so I kind of like their little moment of like, this kind of sucks, actually.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, no, that was really cool.
and then the
Um,
little panel of him thinking back on her was nice, but yeah, the only thing I would have done different is I wish I knew how she died, and I hope it is an intentional withholding of information, like you said.
I mean, it does really seem like it now that I'm sort of skimming back through it. It really does seem like a weird thing to omit. Um, so yeah, my current position is that we'll probably see some more to it. That maybe she killed herself. Maybe they fought, he changed his mind, but then something out of his control uh caused her death. Like something along those lines to like change the context because it is a bizarrely huge gap in time, isn't it? Where it's
Of
just like,
him
oh
just
yeah,
they've been gone for so and so amount of time, and he shows up and she's just dead on the ground. Like, I don't know. It's for something that's such an important plot point going on too, because the niece is all going crazy trying to avenge her and stuff too. You think we would see what happened other than just oh, I killed her,
Mm-hmm.
which we already knew, right? Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
information we already
exactly.
had. I don't know, but otherwise amazing. Maybe my favorite fight in Sakamoto so far. It's such like a good job of just conveying everything in this like. And while I do like when Sakamoto gets super cinematic and they're like, you like when he's fighting the movie guy and they're being projected with their silhouettes, so it looks like a screen.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about it when it gets, let's just simple and emotional like this, because even though there's not like a ton of dialogue or anything, it's just like this fight between two people. One of them wants to avenge their friend, one of them is just trying to survive, and they're just
Mm-hmm.
both kind of like this whole existence that we have sucks ass actually. And
Yeah,
it's very
basically.
like I don't know, it's emotional in a nice way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, do we move on then?
Yeah, it's a really good series out of 10.
Yeah, Rockamoto Days out of 10,
Yeah, and then we are now on Chainsaw Man.
which is the finale, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Yes. I love Motorcycle Man. This is such
Yeah,
a fun little sequence.
yes. I like when he's like, I
Chapter
didn't know I could do that.
Yeah, chapter 130, by the way, is like 6 double spreads.
Uh-huh.
It's nutty.
The
Like
whole
who
sequence
does?
from like 16 to 17 is crazy with this like the big guy there. It's basically just double spreads like the entire second half of the chapter.
Yeah. And then with chapter 131, we get like the reveal that Famine was behind the attack and that Nayuta was actually on the defense there. That's actually
Hmm.
really cool. Um, I like the reveal of Fami's power that it's like, oh, anyone who's starved can be under my control. Um, because now we know that all the horsemen that we've seen so far, their powers depend basically on has this person succumbed to the thing this horseman controls.
Hmm.
So like with control, it's like, oh, does this person believe the control devil to be above them? With war, it's like, oh, does this person belong to the devil? And with famine, it's like, is this person starved by the famine devil? And that has a very interesting implication for the death devil if death is indeed the fourth horseman.
Hmm.
Because does that mean that death just controls anyone they kill? Because that's an incredible power if that's it.
Yes, or anyone, I mean, anyone who's dead. Like,
Mm-hmm.
nothing in that would
Yeah.
necessarily say they had to kill the person. Oh God, that's
Yeah.
gonna be how we get a horrible reuniting with Aki, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
His
Actually, now you
horrible
fuck.
corpse is gonna come back and fight again.
Fuck yes. Yeah. No, you're right. Um. And so we get Nostradamus' prophecy, which I don't think we've heard of before, have we?
A little bit. I think that they talk about it when she's at the restaurant with Octopus Man.
Right. I remember them being very specific about it.
Yeah, they don't go into detail. I think this is the first time we get like a full breakdown of what it is, but they do talk about it in the past.
Mm.
Um,
Okay.
and then I like
Yes.
I like how Nayuta is all the power of Makima in a shell that is just Denji's personality.
Yeah. Right.
I solved the problem by making humans taste like actual shit.
It's like, no, I can't. The world can't end. I have to go to school.
Yeah, I don't want the world to end. I want to have more pizza. And then they're like, "Oh, well then why don't you help me?" And he's like, "No, I've got to go to school tomorrow."
Okay, there you go. I just found it. The prophecies of Nostradamus. In the seventh month of 1999, a great king of terror will descend. Well, that can mean basically fucking anything, can it?
Yeah, pretty much. I
Dude,
mean,
if
I
we
guess
get
that could be death.
yeah, if we get the Death Devil, because that's the main thing with like ever, because I feel like the Death Devil is the natural thing everyone thinks of the moment they like hear about Chainsaw Man's like devil system. We're like, oh, the
Hmm.
devil is proportionally strong to how many people like are afraid of it. And it's like, okay, what about death? The thing literally everyone's afraid of.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I don't even want to imagine what that's gonna be like. And it's interesting that war could beat it. That's the other thing. The war could
Yeah, that
beat
war could
whatever's
somehow
coming.
win. Yeah, I'm curious as to what reasoning that is.
Hmm. And I also like how, the cabal of the strongest devils opposes the age of the devils purely on like extremely base instinct things like, oh yeah, I like pizza.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I
but
like
in a way,
Chinese food and pizza.
but that's also the cool thing, isn't it? Because it's like all these devils, they love and appreciate things made exclusively by humans. So the
Hmm.
things that's gonna save humans from the age of devils is the things we create with the uniqueness of our spirit. Um, so no, that's really cool. I really do like that. Um, but yeah, Fujimoto's been absolutely delivering these last couple of
Yep,
weeks, and I
really
hope
has been.
this keeps going. Yeah, I mean, Chainsaw Man hasn't had a bad chapter in forever, I want to
Yeah,
say.
ages. Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah. Um, and I'm kind of sad that Falling Devil is already done.
Yeah, I
It was
liked
pretty
that
cool.
concept, and it seemed like it didn't really go anywhere because they didn't really like fight her. But I guess that's fine. I guess not
They
everything
just
has to
ran
be a
from her,
fight,
yeah.
you know?
Hmm.
It was just a little plan. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
curious to see how War could win this, like,
Hmm.
or what, Famine's plan is. And I also like that Famine's obsessed with food. I think that's cute and funny.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Because like,
it
her
makes
reasoning
me.
for wanting to oppose it is so that there's more food. And then when she's out with Octopus Boy and they're talking, she orders like a shitload of food.
Yeah.
I find that
But
cute. It's all good. Everything in Chainsaw Man is good. The vibes are immaculate.
yes, the vibes are very good.
Yes,
Um, so yeah, very good out of 10.
very good out of 10. All right. Well, I think that wraps up this episode.
Yeah. In that case, thanks everyone for listening to my insane ramblings for like 3 years. Or like 2.5 years. I don't even remember how long we've been doing this.
It's been about a little over 2.5 years. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you all for the time that you've spent listening to me. Thank you, Zen, of course, for letting me be your co-host in this thing that we made together. And
Absolutely.
yeah,
Thank you for being on this. It would not happen if it were not for you.
I mean, I'm glad I took you up on your offer that time in the DMs. That random, hey, would you be interested in making a podcast with me out of the blue?
I pitch stuff really well, you see.
Yeah, you got that. You got that insane level Riz when it comes to that.
All
But
right.
yeah,
Well,
take care, everyone,
thank you for tuning in, everybody. And I will see you next time.
and I will see you. I don't know if I ever appear as like a guest on something. I guess.
Always welcome. Always welcome.
Absolutely.
All
I'll.
right, everybody.
Yeah. Goodbye. Bye.
Goodbye.